What's up with the squad? Back with another video. Y'all see in the title, it's going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it in the title. So you have it here. This is, a post in Nancy Pelosi. I'm not gonna play this whole video, but I guess she had put out a video of her basically giving out, her retirement. Nancy Pelosi is retiring. One thing about it is that I'm actually glad. I feel like there's a lot of individuals that need to follow suit, when it comes down to it. Just as well as I always talk about that it needs to be term limits. That's how I feel, and I'm sure many of y'all also feels the same way. She has been, in office for a long, long time, bro. A very, very, very long time. And it's absolutely insane. So she made this post, though. She limited the comments. Said who can reply. Accounts at Team Pelosi, follows or mention, can reply. So only individuals that, she follows or mentions, obviously are the only ones that can reply. Nobody else can, which I feel like this is one of the things that she actually knows. And she obviously knows that there's multiple things that come with this. The first thing is that a lot of people feel as if, we've been talking about this, that she needs to retire, having obviously people that's going to say some things. The second thing is that, it's kind of odd, that, her getting in office, and making the amount of money that she is making. Pretty insane. Got here, this Fox News says Trump responds to Nancy Pelosi announcing her retirement, calling it a great thing for America. Check it out.
News, yeah, you as well. Here we go now to Washington. The former House Speaker, leading congressional Democrat Nancy Pelosi, has announced in a video a moment ago that she will not seek re-election. She has represented San Francisco for nearly 40 years. She's 85 years old. The history she has in Washington speaks for itself. She has been a long-range player in the Democratic Party. And
Definitely has. I'm not going to lie. Definitely has. This is President Trump saying what I just told y'all. No lies protected.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
About Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi's retirement.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country.
And on Dick Cheney.
I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. Just that, how she acted, how she is acting, and how she is. Definitely. One thing about it though, this is President Trump. It says President Trump has a message for Nancy Pelosi following her retirement. This is another clip, Fox News. And me personally, I feel like, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. I definitely feel like President Trump was, in a sense of being, I feel like he was being, it could have went a different way. As I would say, I feel like, people there were people in the comments, people saying this, saying that, about President Trump saying that. I feel like, me personally, it's actually being pretty cool, pretty chill about it, because it's true. It's not nothing, to bash you. That's just how she is, and, then again, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but then again, that was facts.
Chatted with President Trump about this breaking news that Nancy Pelosi will be leaving Washington. He tells me the following, and this is a quote. The retirement of Nancy Pelosi is a great thing for America. She was evil, corrupt, and only focused on bad things for our country. She was rapidly losing control of her party, and it was never coming back. I'm very honored. She impeached me twice and failed miserably twice. Nancy Pelosi is a highly overrated politician. And so that is the first word, but definitely not the last word, from President Trump about this, because about 90 minutes from right now, we do expect to see him in the Oval Office. The two of them, of course, throughout his entire first term, had historic battles, whether it was over funding, whether it was over his impeachment. The two of them did not get along at all, but like many historians,
They definitely didn't get along at all. But one thing about it, like I said, I feel like President Trump definitely was being nice about it. Like I said, it could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse, what he said. But, it's cool. Held back. But you do have here, says left, like Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, were actively not only get, I talk about this, this money thing, and why President Trump called her evil and this, that, and the other. Says her and, meaning Nancy and Kamala Harris, were literally more so of inciting, that violence, and the BLM, the riots that happened in 2020. Check it out right here.
And not only that, it's also Minnesota and how Governor Tim Walz came out and basically induced more riots. And Kamala Harris, literally, I kid you not, tweeted a fundraiser in support of the very people who are setting American cities on fire. That is not okay.
I looked into that, and that's actually very true.
And you know what?
It's true.
I also, kid you not, the tweet is still up 5 years later. There's no shame in that. Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, all of these left-wing leaders, these so-called advocates of peace, they were actively inciting riots across America, inciting damage, wreaking havoc. I mean,
and that's when it comes in, when you have all those people that's in the comments. Well, why would he call her that? That's very inappropriate for the president to say this and say that. It's all true. I mean, look at everything she has done. I mean, everything she has possibly done. I'm telling y'all, it all becomes to make sense when it comes down to it. I'm telling y'all. I mean, you literally have it here. Literally says here, this is from Eli Crane, said we should not be allowed to trade stocks while serving in Congress. It's wrong. You literally have Nancy's portfolio has hit a new all-time high at 257 million. Pretty sure it's at 400 million. Around that, in between 200 and 400 million. And it's pretty insane. Check it out from Scott Jennings.
We have more breaking news into the Scott Jennings Show today. This just in. A prolific and successful pioneer of Wall Street is calling it a career after years of an incredible streak of trades that saw her bank millions of dollars. Nancy Pelosi of San Francisco has announced her retirement from day trading. Over the past decade, Pelosi has generated a cumulative return of 816% from her investments, beating the S&P 500 by a whopping 559 percentage points. She retires from day trading with an estimated net worth of over $200 million. Just an astonishing track record of making money for herself. It's almost like she knew things were going to happen before they did. But whether it was by luck or just by sheer intellect, Nancy Pelosi will go down as a true legend of Wall Street after her storied career.
Y'all heard it. Y'all have heard it. One thing about it, though, that I don't understand is that you have so many people talking about this whole situation. And I feel like when it comes to a lot of, especially, individuals, on the left, we always go over, the things, on the money, and we try to follow the money and this, that, and the other. You constantly see on how bad things are, how bad things are when it comes to the money. And you have all these independent journalists, you have people that's actually paying attention, giving it out there. And many, many people aren't doing much about it. I'm telling y'all. Not just Nancy Pelosi. Not just Nancy Pelosi at all. I'm telling y'all. Says here, Nancy Pelosi is officially retiring from Congress at the age of 85. During her time in public service, her net worth skyrocketed to over $270 million. Insider trading. She gets to walk away with the money. She owns multiple mansions worth over $5 million apiece. She owns a 200,000 Porsche 911. Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio has hit all-time highs plus 93%. I'm pretty sure it's higher. Nancy Pelosi made $3 million in 3 hours. She also made $4 million in a single trade. This is literally 20 times her salary. Like, and people aren't getting. People are not getting what what this truly is about. One thing about it that people don't understand, and I try to get people to understand this, is that and this is my opinion, and it's also, I feel like it's factual. It can be factual. She was only in Congress literally for the money. And there's a lot of other individuals that's like that. They don't care. They don't care at all. This is random, but y'all know I'm gonna talk about Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett, she ain't there for the money. She don't care about the people. We obviously see that. Go look at TX30. I'm telling y'all. Go look at TX30. Sad.
To put a ban on stock trading for members of Congress is even a thing is because of Nancy Pelosi. I mean, she is rightfully criticized because she makes, I think, $174,000 a year, yet she has a net worth of approximately $413 million. In 2024, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio, this was a fascinating statistic to me, grew 70% in 1 year in 2024, and her portfolio outperformed every single large hedge fund in that same year and even more than doubled the returns of Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. So I think the president stands with the American people on this. He doesn't want to see people like Nancy Pelosi enriching themselves off of public service and ripping off their constituents in the process. As
I don't like judging. I don't like talking about people, saying where people should go, this, that, and the other. But like many other people say, and I truly believe the same thing, definitely belong in a prison cell. I mean, that's just me personally. I think that way just because of the things that go on. And not just her. There's many others. I'm telling y'all, many others. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe, and let me know y'all comments and thoughts on this video. Catch y'all next one.